Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another Genshin reaction. Today we have the game Before the Gate. This was requested by Lightning, and her shit is kind of like a dual approach to getting the most votes out of a song, so this is the one we're doing today. Obviously it'll be all phases as requested, so I'm actually surprised this one's only about 5.5 minutes long given it's all phases, but every boss theme kind of has their own length, so I'm figuring it's just a slightly shorter one or they don't include loops, so I'm going to pay attention to this one and make sure I don't miss anything. And without further ado, let's go! Ooh. Kinda has a Hall of the Mountain King meets ballet thing going on here. That's fun. Diddling up there on the high keys. It's got a whimsy to it. Ah, there's the presence. Also, just making sure. Okay, I think the video is just supposed to stay like this. All right, sorry I paused in the middle. I was very concerned that this whole thing was just frozen for some reason. But I guess this is just where the video was paused. Very strange. Anyway, back to it. Great piano work, though. It's really capturing that drama. I hope people are hearing what I am with that blend. It definitely has, like, some Tchaikovsky in there. I hope people are picking up what I am, because it feels so obvious to the tone. But again, a little bit more whimsical at times. See, like that. Like, yeah, that was a weird place to just pause the image. But here we are. Okay, so it is a little bit of an operetta. I wasn't entirely wrong on the vibe. Woo. Oh, this is a fun evolution. I love the duet the two characters are fighting, King and Queen. That's fantastic. I wonder how this is going to change in the final phase. Oh, this is great. See, like, it has like a Danny Elfman element to it, too. That's that whimsy I'm feeling. Ooh, a shift. A little bit more drama involved now. Things are getting more serious. This is the no more playing around shift. Throwing the timpani in there, adding some beef to the low end. Okay, we're not entirely done with the whimsy yet. This would fit perfectly in a Tim Burton Wonderland somewhere. Oh man, now what's the next one gonna sound like? Oh, that was it. Okay, so I wasn't wrong. It was like the shift of like the tone there at the end. I was so into that I was expecting there to be another phase, like another complete section of the song. Oh, all right. I'm actually surprised it ended so upbeat then, assuming that this, with being a boss theme, you would be beating them. That's kind of an interesting thing, actually. Usually they end with a lot more drama. So I had a lot of fun with this one, and I feel like the composer did too. I feel like there's so many influences in this with different composers and everything that I could never manage to mention all of them. But I was getting, like I said, I mentioned Tchaikovsky a little bit in there. He's a little bit more romanticized, but at the same time, he definitely has some songs in there that had a little bit more of this listless sort of feeling. And speaking of Liszt, I actually think that Franz Liszt was another one that was kind of referred to in the song and composition, maybe used as a reference there. And I did have this like Danny Elfman feel through a lot of it, but I feel like that might just be because Danny Elfman has a lot of his own references from that same period in his own music, and especially the stuff he did with Oingo Boingo. And then when he started getting into more film composition, he just kind of went full bore with that sound, and that's why I'm getting that vibe. This definitely would fit in a Tim Burton world for sure. I would kind of put it more in like, I don't know, with the energy of this one, it almost felt a little bit like the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory soundtrack in a lot of ways, but I could see this fitting in something that's a little bit more thematically appropriate, like the Alice in Wonderland film, for example. So, like, there's a bunch of stuff in this that was really fun. I love the scaling of it, too. Like, it started kind of soft. It started just a little bit more mysterious. That's what was giving me that Hall of the Mountain King sort of energy. Just like the very start was kind of just more subtle with it. And then as it built and it naturally progressed, I love that they included the voices and having that duet going to show the characters kind of being a part of the composition. And it felt like this wasn't a serious boss, so I feel like these are probably one of those like weekly bosses that they do. I don't know if that's the case, but I would not be shocked, especially with the design of them as well. They don't seem to have the presence that other Genshin bosses do, so it's probably something they're like, hey, let's throw these in and have some fun with it, make a little side story here. That feels a lot more like thematically apt. But then also, like I said during the reaction, as the song evolves and then the tone shifts, they do that all the time. It's just that moment where the bosses start taking things a little bit more seriously. I'm like, oh shit, okay, well, now they're starting to actually pay attention. The entire shift of the energy went downward. Like at first they're all, oh, you know, no problem, have at thee, oh no, scary little people, you know, like not taking you seriously. But then they realize, oopsie, they're actually beating us. Maybe we should be paying attention more and actually trying. But also with that lift at the end, the fact that the energy went back to what it was before makes me go, okay, maybe they aren't taking this seriously. And then I'm kind of thinking of the character designs and going, okay, so why are they chess pieces? Like, what is this going on? Are you like human sized on like a giant chessboard? You know, like there's a bunch of media that's done that sort of approach and they usually make it a really intense thing. But at the same time, what if you were being toyed with? I guess is my question. Like, what if this was something like a god playing with the humans and the mortals and you're them, unfortunately, and they're just like, haha, take this. And they started putting chess pieces down. And you're like, oh no. what's about to happen, and now you have to deal with that. It's a time-tested thing. Like I said, that's been done in numerous media. You know, you have Alice in Wonderland, they did that sort of thing. You even have Ruby, they did that sort of thing in a recent season, so like that exists. There's a bunch of stuff. Harry Potter, for God's sake, like so many things have adapted that concept of human chess and putting people in that scenario. So I would not be surprised, given that all of those basically also had a godlike power associated to them. This would be very similar. So I'm feeling like that's what the case is here, that this is like some sort of a larger being playing with you as the humans, their toys, and seeing you in that way. They're not taking you seriously, and as such, the bosses are, but then the god starts getting a little bit frustrated when you're doing better than they expected, and that's when the tone of the song changes, and then when it's done, they realize, well, I'm still a god, so why do I care? So the energy kind of lifts and disappears off into the sunset a little bit, and they might be a little bit frustrated still, but maybe there's just an air of respect that comes out of that, or they're just like, whatever, stupid humans, I guess you won this game. Congratulations, idiot. Like, there's so many things that could be the case with that final little bit. I'm just surprised that the song itself did lift up and fly away at the end, and they kept the energy high after taking it down. They usually just go down. They're like, oh shit, I'm about to lose, and then they lose. So again, just a neat little change there. I'm not used to hearing that happen, especially from all the Genshin bosses I have heard so far. Maybe that is a common thing, but maybe this is a unique one. I'm not entirely sure. But what I am sure about is that I've yapped enough about this one. So thank you all so very much for watching. Thank you, Lightning and Harshit, for putting this into the queue, and everybody else who had liked it so I could get to it. I do like getting to these boss themes as well as I do all the OST stuff. I enjoy them all in their own unique little pockets of my ear. I just love music. So if you have anything else you want me to get to, drop in the comments below and I will do my best as always to get to those. But otherwise, if you just like this video and you want to follow me and support me for other stuff in the future, you know how to do all that, and I will see you all in the next video. Goodbye!